What happened this week in Cairo could be a turning point for the Middle East. Arab leaders gathered to discuss a bold plan, a 53 billion investment to rebuild Gaza without displacing its population. This proposal comes as a direct response to a controversial project backed by the United States, which suggested turning Gaza into a kind of tourist destination, but without Palestinians living there, an idea that was immediately criticized as a disguised form of ethnic cleansing. Welcome to War and Geopolitics Daily. Here we discuss the most important geopolitical and conflict-related topics every day. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming videos. The Arab Plan, led by Egypt and supported by countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, aims to rebuild essential infrastructure such as housing, sanitation, hospitals, and energy networks. Additionally, there is a proposal for a new governance model for Gaza, something that could create even more tensions in the region. But the big question is, does this have any real chance of happening? International reactions have been mixed. Israel opposed to the plan, arguing that it ignores Hamas's role in attacks against the country and does not provide security guarantees for Israelis. Meanwhile, Hamas welcomed the initiative and called for the ceasefire to be maintained so reconstruction can begin as soon as possible. The Palestinian Authority also expressed support for the project, but there is a significant political deadlock. Arab countries want to exclude Hamas from the process and install an interim government of technocrats until the Palestinian Authority regains control. But is that even feasible? To better understand this scenario, we need to take a step back and recall how the Gaza Strip reached this point. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has deep roots dating back to the early 20th century. In 1917, the Balfour Declaration promised British support for the creation of a Jewish national home in Palestine, sparking tensions with the local Arab population. Decades later, in 1948, with the establishment of the State of Israel and the ensuing war, thousands of Palestinians were displaced, and the Gaza Strip became a refuge for many of them. Since then, Gaza has gone through numerous periods of tension. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel occupied the territory, and this occupation lasted until 2005, when Israel withdrew its troops and settlers from the region. However, in 2007, Hamas took control of Gaza after an internal conflict with the Palestinian Authority, leading Israel and Egypt to impose a severe blockade on the territory. Since then, Gaza has been in a permanent crisis, with a devastated economy and infrastructure repeatedly destroyed by conflicts. Today, the humanitarian situation in Gaza is critical. The territory is home to more than 2 million people living in extremely precarious conditions. Electricity supply is unreliable, access to clean water is limited, and hospitals suffer from chronic shortages of medicine and equipment. The most recent war has worsened this scenario even further, with thousands of homes destroyed and entire families left homeless. Additionally, the truce established in January 2025 is hanging by a thread, and any new attack could reignite the conflict. The reconstruction plan presented by Arab countries seems like a light at the end of the tunnel, but massive challenges lie ahead. First, the political issue. Hamas has controlled Gaza for nearly 2 decades and shows no sign of relinquishing power. Any attempt to remove it could lead to new internal conflicts. Second, security. Israel is unlikely to accept a plan that does not include mechanisms to ensure that Gaza does not once again become a launchpad for attacks against Israeli territory. Third, economic feasibility. Even with the commitment of Arab countries to fund reconstruction, distrust over fund management and the potential misappropriation of resources is a real concern. For this plan to succeed, 3 key points are essential. The first is maintaining the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Without it, any reconstruction effort will be destroyed before it even begins. The second is ensuring that resources arrive transparently and are used properly to improve the population's lives rather than to strengthen armed groups. The third is funding a stable political solution for governing Gaza, which seems extremely difficult at the current context. Rebuilding Gaza is not just a financial or technical issue. It is a political and humanitarian one. Without a broader agreement involving all stakeholders, Israel, Hamas, and the Palestinian Authority and Arab countries, any reconstruction effort may be only temporary. The history of the conflict has already shown that ambitious plans often fail because political tensions always end up overriding humanitarian interests. The war needs to mobilize to ensure that this reconstruction plan does not remain just a promise. There are a few actions that can be taken to help Gaza and its people. Supporting humanitarian organizations working directly in the region to provide food, medicine, and other essential supplies. Pressuring governments and internal organizations to maintain the ceasefire and ensure that reconstruction happens transparently and effectively, and spreading information to raise awareness about the reality of Palestinians in Gaza, preventing distorted narratives from hindering progress. This is one of those moments that could change the course of history. But for that to happen, more than just promises are needed. Concrete action and political will are essential. And you, what do you think? Do you believe this plan has a chance of succeeding, or will it just be another failed attempt? Leave a comment below, and if you enjoy content like this and want to dive deeper into the world's geopolitical issues, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos.